do this. I have to try and raise it.
The bar isn't something that actually lowers, Mr. Cameron.
What have you been doing all these years?
Le who? The her.
Drinking. Yeah, a lot of drinking.
The bar has been lowered to depths we can't even fathom. If anyone can go down there and raise it back, it's me.
Are you still drinking?
No. I don't. That's behind me now. Why are you buying?
I'm an alcoholic.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Jesus, did I really set the bar that low?
Descending to 1,000 feet. I don't see the bar yet. Looks like it must have sunk pretty low.
Boy, that is... Talk about setting the bar low.
God bless Woody Harrelson.
God bless him to death.
What a fucking legend. Yeah, I didn't plan on doing this because I asked you and everybody else about doing this, and you never seen any of the previous Planet of the Apes films, and apparently you watched them all in one fucking day.
I did. I took my day off and binged some Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, which at one point, I mean, you can't not talk about those films without talking about this film. And yeah, I did see an early access showing on Wednesday. The reason my video isn't out yet, of course, because no one ever plans on a death and a funeral, so sometimes shit happens, and plus other obligations. We're grown men, we have fucking jobs and kids and things like that. So yeah, besides this with you, I'm also gonna have my own solo one out tonight, but still the same talking points, either way. But yeah, I'm glad you just got to see this movie, but and we'll show a picture because we won't talk about it too much. But I am curious, after you did watch all not the original, but the remakes of the Planet of the Apes, we have Rise, Dawn, and War. What is your overall assessment of that trilogy?
War was my favorite of all of them, so I liked War. I probably, if you want me to rate them, I'd probably say War, Rise, Dawn, in that order.
Okay. Yeah.
So whatever that's worth.
Yeah, I did talk to our buddy, the Pumpkin King. He likes them all as well. Because hey Jay, burned one down to have a cold beer after doing all the honey doodle shit. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so I like all three of those. To me, it's just like, Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or any kind of trilogy. I will watch all three of them. I maybe Dawn's my favorite, but I still like War and Rise either way. So. But I'm gonna boycott you. I know we said that's honestly, I think Tucker and Dale would be good for Halloween. That's a good, because
I don't like that movie. I don't think that's a good movie.
Really? Love Tucker and Dale.
It's a stupid parody movie. I don't like parody movies too. I mean, unless it's like Airplane.
Maybe me and Angela watch it then. I always love Tucker and Dale.
I don't like Tucker and Dale. I think it's kind of pointless. So I'm sorry, man.
No
sorry,
topic,
Jay.
Right? But Jay, I'm pretty sure Enzo likes it as well. Eventually we'll get into that. But yeah, so it's like I hate when they use terms like a soft reboot, because they're trying to say that this is a soft reboot, but then it's not really a reboot because it's technically part 4 in this franchise, because the events of the first 3 movies are canon. And
about that. Yeah, I did like that. That's very good. That helped because I don't know if I told you or not, but I was a big fan of the original Planet of the Apes stuff when they used to come on like once a month, maybe, or once every couple months on TV. They'd play like a Planet of the Apes marathon on the local TV station when I was a kid, and I saw them all kind of out of order, and of course they're on TV, so I was an 80s kid, so I had to go out and play and come back and watch the movies, and whatever, TV time was limited. So I've always been a big fan of those. I don't know if I've seen them all. I feel like I've seen a lot of them, of the original, like Roddy McDowell, the Charlton Heston, those series of
Dirty Apes.
Yeah, I couldn't name them if you put a gun to my head, but this I've kind of avoided because I had such a bad taste in my mouth from the Mark Wahlberg film from 2001. Right. So I was just like, yeah, I know, that was a shit show. So I just was like, but then I saw you doing it, and I heard some good things, and then they're all on Hulu right now, and I have the Hulu app. So I was like, you know what? I have a day off, which was yesterday. So I was like, why don't I just sit around, clean the office, drink a couple beers, do some paperwork, and watch the Planet of the Apes and see what all the fuss is about. So and there you go.
Paul Giamatti, man. At least they had good makeup back then. I mean, for the time when it came out. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe that was actually and also why Tim Burton let's say Tim Burton puts his wife in the movie too.
I
And
don't know what they were trying to do with that, to be honest with you. To this
yeah.
day, I don't know what the point of that. The human chick that plays the love interest, she was smoking hot. I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I saw it at the drive-in, and I banged a chick at the drive-in.
Yeah.
So, but I did stay and watch it again.
I will say, despite criticism, I still think that he did a good job as a villain in that movie.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
he did.
I'm not saying it's a great film, but in performances, him also. I mean, Michael Clark Duncan was a fucking monster of a human being, and his 5 hours of makeup and shit. But what a big dude.
I think it's the thing where when you're excited for a movie,
yeah,
and you get disappointed by it, so it hurts your feelings almost kind of. But then the opposite is true too. So like if you're not really even going into anything with kind of any kind of expectations, then you don't, and it winds up being good, then you're even more impressed.
Yeah.
I think it's that kind of situation. I remember seeing the preview. I was actually in boot camp when I saw the preview. I saw the preview when I went and saw Mummy Returns, and I was like, "Oh wow, this looks dope! I want to watch this." And I saw it when I got out of boot camp. I went to the drive-in.
Yeah. Well, as I said, in terms of like soft reboot, Rise came out in 2011, so it's only been 13 years since this whole trilogy started. And we check out War. War's only been 4 or 5 years now. To say terms like soft reboot, well, I mean, it's not like it's been 20 fucking years, guys. I mean, come on.
War was 2017, I believe. So I think that's like 7 years.
Okay, yeah, War. But that was pretty quick then. Yeah, they put out, wow, you figure 2011, so War, Dawn, and Rise within like 8 years of each other. So
yeah.
But either way, even having the last film be fucking 7 years ago, just to say a soft reboot is kind of a weird synopsis on this new saga, which I mean, it's not been confirmed yet if this can be a new trilogy. We'll get into it in a few minutes about. I mean, guys, at this point, not even a spoiler. We're expecting more. I mean, because that's the whole point of this.
I mean, it's like anything else. It depends on how good it does, I guess.
Oh
right?
yeah, but I mean, in terms of like, will this be a new trilogy? I don't know yet. We'll find out. But, yeah. So it's like, I guess we'll just talk about. Well, yeah. I mean, Andy Serkis had a very good job with those 3 movies. He did. What I was reading, he did consult about this, the opening, and I mean, guys, at this point, you know what? Caesar died. Caesar died at the end of war, and
spoiler alert.
They have the opening. They do show Caesar. I'm sure it was like just a CGI actor or something, but they do show Caesar and they burn his body. So now, in terms of the film, the term is said many generations later. We don't know what that means. According to Google, I read this on the way home. I wasn't sure what that meant. Many generations could mean fucking anything. Is that 100 years, 1,000 years? I don't know. According to Google, Google says it's 300 years, but I do hate that sometimes when they say many generations. Just put down fucking on a movie 300 years. It's
I get why though. It's because they don't want to lock themselves into a specific timeline that people start nitpicking. If they're vague about it, then they can do a lot more with the story. They're not locked into a certain time frame, so it sort of makes sense from a logistical standpoint.
Yeah, and even here, like what says, many years after the reign of Caesar, a young ape goes on a journey. Okay, well, but I mean, either way, say for argument's sake, whatever, say it's 200 fucking years. So some time has passed since the events of the first 3 movies, and we have a new character. His name is Noah the ape.
Yeah, I really, well, we'll get to it, but I really thought he was a pretty good successor to.
Yeah, and it's one thing I got to talk about. I mean, people all the time would say things like, special effects aren't always what we're looking for, but I still always point them out. I mean, I saw this in IMAX, and I'm not sure what format you saw it in. A film like this in IMAX, in terms of visuals, I mean, even with Rise being 2011, the mocap is still fantastic, holds up to this day, and you can tell within the first 5 minutes, like, holy shit, man, the mocap in this one, it's been 7 years since War, and it's that much better. You can love or hate the Avatar films. A lot of people don't like the Avatar films. I get that, but you can't deny James Cameron. The fucking mocap in Avatar is fucking, it's perfect. This is on the level for me as Avatar. Like, as Jeremy Johns or other people would say, because I watch other YouTubers, there are certain scenes when they're talking, these apes, like if I didn't know it was a digital like ape, it's like it's almost to the point where you think it's a person wearing prosthetics, but the eyes, the facial animations and probably this is the issue with the whole Lion King because lions can't emote, fucking birds can't emote. Apes are very similar to humans, so an ape can smile, it can show joy, emotions, and sometimes when these apes are talking, it's like it's you can't even fucking tell it's mocap. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's fucking fantastic.
I'll do you one better. I think
Jim.
I got to say that I think that this is better than Avatar as far as special effects. And you know me, I'm not a big special effects guy.
Yeah.
I'll take crappy special effects if it's a good story. But I think this is just
Well,
better.
I mean, maybe in a sense because of the whole the Avatar, the Na'vi, they aren't real people. So it's like this is. I mean, it said apes are real. I mean, apes are real beings, and
Yeah.
this is it's probably easier that way in mocap. But there definitely is times that said the times they're talking and they're riding on horses and they're interacting with each other. I'm like, God damn, it looks like an actual fucking ape or monkey orangutan just talking. Like it's that close. Where another 4 or 5 years from now, the people are gonna think that monkeys can really talk. It's
No,
that,
yeah, for sure. I can remember being kind of astounded with the original movies back in the day, and they kind of scared me a little bit. I mean, I
yeah,
saw
they
them
were
when I was
plastic.
very young. But yeah, no, this I mean, this is like light years away from that.
Yeah.
And I don't really care about stuff like that. That doesn't really mean much to me, but and
Yeah.
this was so well done.
Like even
I think it was better than anything Avatar put out at all. And I'm
no,
not just saying that because I hate Avatar.
yeah, but no, yeah, like pictures right there of like of the character Noah. It's just like that is like it's so fucking close. Where and we keep talking about good CGI, bad CGI. I'll even say it in my reviews, like hey guys, look at She-Hulk, look at friggin' some of the de-aging. Even the Marvel
Mhm.
films started going down. Like I noticed with Civil War, everybody was praising Civil War, and it was a great film. But like you can really tell that they stopped. That's when they stopped having Robert Downey in the suit and did the whole chest plate, where it's only his chest. And he's wearing pajamas, and Tom Holland, and you can start fucking telling like, what was it when Mark Ruffalo, it was in a Hulkbuster suit. It was so bad CGI for Infinity War. Infinity War did like $2 billion. That CGI was goddamn awful, man. This shit like
But the story was great.
oh yeah, I'm just saying, but you can tell that's when Disney started doing that shit where they started paying their digital artists less and less and pumping them out too goddamn quick. This right here, this is fucking amazing in terms of like this special effects. Now, I mean, obviously now people in the mocap suits still move like they can walk and talk. A couple scenes you obviously could tell it's CG because as even though apes are close to us, they still move in a way that humans can't. So some action
Mhm.
scenes, it's CGI, but like goddamn, the fucking aesthetics in this movie are great. And you see it in the trailer as well, where you look at whatever 200 300 years of fucking past when you had these characters looking at the cities and the ruins. That's that scene right there. Like you start seeing like moss, moss trees are growing, and like time has passed where how much like was it like there was the thing with the planet will heal itself once humans are gone.
You think that's true?
Well, in terms of like we figure like say New York City, if the entire city was vacant tomorrow, I mean I guess the fucking nature would start growing grass again. Like that was the whole point. Remember I Am Legend?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And they had the fields out in New York City. I thought that
yeah,
happened a little too quickly because what was it,
yeah.
10 or 15 years or something in I Am Legend?
Yeah, it was pretty quick for that to happen.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I can't speak to that. But
It seemed
so,
pretty quick though, yeah.
did you mention which one of the new trilogy, the Andy Serkis trilogy, I guess we'll call it the Caesar trilogy?
Yeah, of course.
Which one of those is your favorite? Is it
Um,
War?
I'm definitely gonna go with Gord, Dawn, the middle one. I mean, and
Okay.
again, like, I think it's like almost like I love all three. I can watch all three. I have watched all three. I would say Dawn's my favorite, but it's almost like me saying like I know you're not big in Lord of the Rings, but like I like the Two Towers the best, but I'll still watch Fellowship and
I
fucking
also
Return
like
of the
the Two
King.
Towers. I also like the Two
Yeah,
Towers the
so
best.
it's like or like say even Star Wars, a lot of people the Empire's their favorite. Some people, you know what? If you say episode 6 with Luke and Vader, or fucking whatever, A New Hope
Yeah.
is your favorite, there's no wrong answer. So
Yeah.
technically
No,
don't
Empire is
yeah,
also my favorite there too.
yeah,
Yeah, I usually like the middle one. Usually, but
yeah.
and maybe it's because I binged them all in one day. So maybe if I had some perspective on it, and I'd seen them when they came out, maybe
Like
that would be a thing. But
that pick right there, just goddamn it. Said the fucking
yeah.
the detail, you guys.
No, yeah, it's flawless.
Anybody
It's
chat,
In
man.
my opinion, it's flawless. I mean, I'm sure in 20 years they'll look back on it and go, but you know what? Maybe they won't. Maybe in 20 years they'll look back on it and go, yeah, this was during a time when they were having a lot of problems with special effects in movies and TV shows, and this really, I mean, it's like anything else. It's like if you have a good plan and you stick to it, then I think you can accomplish quite a lot
Yeah.
with that. So yeah, no, but yeah, War is my favorite. I'm glad I watched them in order. I'm glad they were all on Hulu because I probably wouldn't have. And then I'm glad I went and saw this. And I guess let's get into it and get into
Um,
this.
again, just saw about that. Really, this character right here, his name is was it Raka? Yes, yeah, Raka. But like
I,
right there,
I think that's how you. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I think that's pretty close.
yeah. But just like I'll telling people in the audience, let's see, look at the cast right here real quick. His name is it's Raka, Raka. But like right there, that right there, that looks like a dude in makeup. Like, and that's how fucking realistic where his scenes are. Him being this orangutan, and like, and when he's
Mhm.
talking, you're like, wow. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been, it just says that, Caesar in some ways you can almost say he's like Jesus Christ in a sense because hundreds of years have passed by and like we're into a small village with this character Noah and the character, the legend of Caesar, they've never heard of him. But we do have these this Noah and his two little friends there. They have like they're basically into like these tribes. And these tribes, like they call them like the Eagle Clan. And
Mm.
they're doing this whole coming of age where they're climbing, and of course their apes they can climb in ways we can't, but their whole village is based on training eagles. And again, the
Mhm.
eagles, I'll try to find a picture. The fucking CGI on the eagles is just great, man. Why not? But yeah, so we think so going on. Well, basically Act One, we just have Noah. He's a teen. We'll say a teenager. I mean, he's nowhere near as old as Caesar was.
I would definitely put him as like a young man for sure.
Yeah. So we want to take it over. I'll try to find some pictures here.
Yeah. So, like I said, I probably wouldn't say it. They think of Caesar as a Jesus character. We open up with, a pyre funeral of Caesar, and it
Yeah.
seems like the apes are going into a new kind of social order, and
Mm.
like they're going to take over the world, and it's, they're going to have this proud lineage. But like as anything else happens, when you have dictatorships and just I want to say human nature, but I guess it's not human nature, is it? It's ape nature. But so it's a couple hundred years later, a few hundred years later. I think I would probably say something closer to like George. He's thought of like a George Washington character. They've still
Okay.
got like philosophies of him showing up. That character that you mentioned, the orangutan, he often quotes him when he comes into the picture. You've got the Eagle Clan. My mind kept wanting to go to Cobra Kai with Eagle Fang. Every time they said Eagle Clan, I was like, oh, it's Eagle Fang.
Well, we ever hear, this is his father, the elder. And again,
Yes.
every time his dad would talk, like, holy fuck, man. And this is Noah having to like his dad's the elder of the tribe, and he's got to like prove himself.
Right.
He's got to earn his own eagle badge in a sense, because his dad's like a master like eaglist,
Right.
or a falconer. So
yeah, the vibes
yeah.
are very like Native American. They kind of run it
Honestly,
like a Native American tribe
yeah.
almost.
Oh, and like,
Um,
what I mean, I would guess like this as well, as a military man. Some people have written in different comments. Well, okay, remember in Dawn and War, well, the apes had machine guns and guns. Yes, they were
yes.
taking human stuff. If this is 200 years later, how good would a 200-year-old machine gun work?
Not very well. Not
Yeah,
very well.
so that's why.
So
Yeah,
yeah, there you don't see a lot of weapons. They're basically using slings and like longbows and staffs and stuff like that,
fucking necks.
which is exactly what would happen.
It's
Um,
eaglist.
and yeah, and so Noah's tribe is basically just they're hunter gatherers to a certain extent. They
Yeah,
go through a big thing at the beginning where Noah and his two pals are climbing, and
I know.
their big thing is that they climb. They
Yes.
climb and get to this really top high cliff
Yep.
to get eagle eggs because they want to get the eagles and raise them up so that the eagles can hunt for them and go get fish and scout for them and things like that. So that's
Yeah,
basically their infrastructure. That's how they do things. The father's a wise elder,
yeah,
and for some reason, I guess in this instance, you might consider Noah to be like the prince, and his father is the king of this tribe, if you were going to label it
yeah.
that way. And Noah, for reasons whatever, even though he's good at climbing, he's got an adventurous spirit. He's got a couple loyal friends. He's really bad with the birds for some reason. So of
Yes.
course that's set up to be a big character arc thing later on, even though his father, and he addresses his father very formally. They have this interesting way that they speak, where they do like a couple chuffing noises every time they speak, and they
Yeah.
they have like a real deferential way of speaking to each other, and it seems to be that they're going to have a rite of passage ceremony, and they keep their eggs close to their chest.
Well, I can say one thing, George, thanks for stopping by. Is that apes? It's like they live off the land. And remember, in apes too, they're still meat eaters. So them doing like rudimentary hunting, fishing, them having eagles, I can go with that. But like, yeah, a whole like clan of like apes being into an environment, they would adapt to the environment, but not take it over. Like that's kind of the joke with the Matrix. Remember, it's like humans, all you keep doing is like spreading and spreading, and then taking over the environment, and like you don't adapt to the environment, you make it your own, then just move on. Versus like apes or cats or whatever, fuck any kind of animal just like sits in that environment, but they don't morph the environment. So like how we do, where we start
Yeah.
polluting the fucking oceans and shit, making
No-
nuclear waste.
Noah's tribe, like I said, resembles very much a Native American culture. They live off the land. They're one with the land.
Yes.
They have like it's very picturesque and beautiful. They stay within their own area.
Yeah.
They seem to have a really good, the elders are respected. The children are taken care of. It seems to be like a really loving, and of course, setting it up that way, it's not going to last, because there has to be some kind of drama in the thing. And in very short order, unfortunately, the fly in the ointment, this human, which they refer to as echoes, shows up and starts hanging around and kind of gumming up the works. You want to take it?
Which I can say, yeah, and that would also happen because this has been hundreds of years later, that the whole simian flu, which was wiping out humans in the second and third movie, that if this is a tribe and these apes are just sitting to like this one domestic spot, they don't go outside their boundaries because they have borders. We're like, you know what? Don't go past like the Beyond Land or something, like the scary place. So the apes in this tribe have never actually seen a human before. And if we're gonna go with that 200, 300 years later past, and the satyrs like 95% of the human race has been wiped the fuck out by this virus, it's not that hard to believe that some of these apes, this entire tribe, have never seen a human before. They've heard of them, but they don't actually know. They've never encountered with them.
Right. It's very much like how the natives, there'd be tribes that had never seen the white man before,
Yeah.
and it's like they've heard of them, but it's something like far off and abstract.
Yeah. And also, and you just watch a trilogy, only Caesar and then the character Koba, they're the only apes in the film that actually talk. And of course, Caesar sometimes has to talk like this because he's still evolving and he talks very precise. These characters are fully fleshed out characters. They talk as much as we do in sentences, and they have more complex dialect, but it's also been hundreds of years later. That's why.
For sure. For sure.
And yeah, but at the end of the day, they still are apes. Like you said, they're still apes, so they still grunt, and hoot and holler like an ape would. But they're still, remember, they're still apes at their core, but they're just more evolved. Which is like, if their brains got more advanced, it means even in 2024, they do teach monkeys and apes sign language. It's not unheard of.
Yeah. So they seem to have, adapted to this very peaceful, hunter-gatherer way of life, and then it's upset right away with this female who is, even though she seems almost feral, the thing I noticed right away was like she had like regular clothes on. They were tattered and they were free.
Yes, I noticed that too.
But they were regular clothes, and I'm like, wait a minute here. So I'm like, all right, something's rotten in Denmark here. And shortly after that, they decide, well, hey, we're gonna take this blanket that she stole and got her human smell, and we're gonna go put it out at, as like a warning. They sent a few scouts,
almost like a scarecrow.
Yeah, almost like a scarecrow. Yeah. And unfortunately, while that's happening and Noah's going out to replace his eggs, which got damaged by her running into them, he discovers their scout party has gotten attacked and killed by a rival tribe of basically Caesar worshipping militant guerrillas who come in and just lay waste to the peaceful Eagle Village. Lots of fighting and destruction ensues, and it appears that these militant apes, the Caesar worshippers, have taken. They wear body armor. they've got like long electrical poles, like almost like cattle prods,
Yeah,
and they basically either kill or kidnap almost all of Noah's tribe and take
yeah.
them to points unknown, basically just leaving Noah by himself to his own devices.
And we'll say this. I mean, I know it's a simple trope, and it's like, it's screenwriting 101, but like, oh, here's the cattle prod thing right here. Um, when Noah gets into a fight basically with this gorilla, number one, gorilla, I mean, it's not even a question. Gorilla versus an ape, they're fucked. They weigh 200 pounds more than them. It wouldn't even be a fight. I mean,
Right.
take
It
away
would
the
be like
weapons,
me against you.
pretty much, yeah. And it's just like, small and agile, but I'm smarter, but but no, but he has like the idea of these cattle prod things right there. And yeah, Noah gets into a fight with this big gorilla and gets his ass handed to him. It's not even a fucking fight, man.
You want
And
to highlight Nick's question there?
sorry, we saying. So for those avoiding spoilers, is it recommended or not so far? Went to later. No, let's say me and Lord Toxic, we're just kind of breaking down what's happening right now, and we'll definitely give a recommendation as we always do. The last we'll say, hey, listen, here's a recommendation, yay or nay. Then we'll do like a quick 10-minute spoiler breakdown. But we're just trying to tell you what the basic plot is. This is all within the first 20 minutes of the movie.
20 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so no one would be aped against their will. Also, Nick, I can tell you, and Toxic knows this. I've been on TikTok. The apes in this movie are smarter than people on TikTok, hands down. So come on. Yeah, so said that's basically the first 20 minutes is just they're a peaceful tribe, and shit can never be peaceful. And the bad guy apes, they're there to kick ass and take names, and almost like a tribalistic thing. They fucking wipe out their village essentially, and they capture some POWs, and yeah. So Noah's got to go basically get his family back and his tribe back.
Yep,
So,
that's a pretty simple mission.
yeah.
Here's a question. So in his travels, he re-encounters the girl. It's a little callback to the other movies where he also runs into, how do you say that guy's name? The
Raka,
orangutan
right there, Raka.
Raka. Now,
Yeah.
did he already know Raka, or is Raka a stranger to him?
No, because this is what happens when he runs into him. It's the first time, remember? Because first Raka has one of the cattle prods. Remember, and he looks down. He's like, "Oh, you're not so tough without your armor," because his people get wiped out too. So basically, they wiped out his tribe on the way to Noah's tribe.
Got
That's
it.
why when
Okay,
first he
that
first
might have been when I went to go get popcorn. I'm not
yeah.
sure.
So first, because when he's like you're not like he's like you look pretty normal without your mask on, because you remember the warring apes that attacked Noah's tribe, they had the
Yes.
armor on their face mask and shit. So he first didn't
Right.
know what
The
Noah
Caesar,
is.
we'll call him the Caesar cult.
Yeah. It's like apocalypto. So yeah, and like I said, and this is, I mean, some people could say in some ways he's almost your favorite character in a movie, but Raka is a historian. He's a historian because right
Yes.
now Noah, when he first says, "Hey, the teachings of Caesar," Noah's like, "Caesar? Who's Caesar?" And we're like, "Oh shit!" So Noah in different ape cultures and his tribe never even heard of the character of Caesar, and so that's what happens when multiple generations are passed down. But Raka knows about him. Also, you're not sure how much he can read, but he talks to Noah. He's like, "Hey, here's these things called books, and these books have symbols, and these symbols have meanings. This is how information was passed down." And like you said, Wes, he was talking about but the way Caesar died and what he cared about and his teachings, this current generation is just basically bastardizing what he stood
Right.
for, which is
Right.
it happens all
Well,
the
and
time.
that happens all the time. There's, you could find white supremacist groups that will bastardize the founding fathers' teachings, and you can find, black supremacist groups, or and they will bastardize what Malcolm X and Martin Luther King put out, and you can find, militant Muslim groups that'll bastardize the Quran. It's not. There's nothing wrong with what Caesar had done in the trilogy,
No,
but anything can be warped for evil purposes, and that's a lot of what we see
yeah,
in this film from these. I guess we're going to call them the Caesar cult.
yeah. And we'll get to a great picture here. And this is what would happen after hundreds and hundreds of years. What would happen to technology?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, every time we see our technology, man, it's so fucking derelict and so broken down and rusted and just
Yeah,
great
but
visuals.
I thought they did a really good job of showing. I mean, again, I'm not a scientist. I don't know exactly what that would do, but I thought that they did a really good job of showing, like what, you know, like things have died and decayed and rusted over, like you say, but also things are lush and beautiful again. So it's just like, you know what I mean? So it's just like they got, you know, the rusted relics of things from the past, but they also have it's this beautiful landscape
Yeah.
of wilderness has kind of grown over it. Whereas with the original series, not the other trilogy, not the
Yeah.
modern trilogy, but the original Planet of the Apes series, it always just like it looked like a studio lot. I mean, I'm not shitting on it. You know, they were constrained. You know, those
For the
movies
time,
came
yeah.
out in the 60s and 70s, so I mean, they did what they could. But I mean, it always looked like they were just on a movie lot. So you know, it's one of those things that you can really appreciate being able to watch something like this in this present day, where they can, you know, upgrade for modern audiences. You
Yeah,
know,
well,
but
this time where modern audiences is a good thing because yeah, I mean,
yeah, no, it's a good thing, not a bad
yeah.
thing. Yeah, no DEI bullshit and stuff like that.
Oh,
Although I am a little concerned that no actual talking apes were used in this. Like I feel like
yeah,
they're stealing roles from actual
yeah.
talking
Um,
apes.
I gotta mention that to you and everybody in the chat watching because we're still Act 1 into Act 2. Again, how many times you and me call this shit out? The fact that the past couple of days, because I did see a Wednesday showing, but you just got out of theater. People, boy, they love using that fucking word woke. Like you watch this film, right? And before we even say it's good or bad, is this movie woke? In fact, is the entire
How? No.
holy
How?
the fact I've seen people say, "Oh yeah, well,
Because
our
the people, why? Because well, that sounds like a racist comment. Why is it woke? Because they have apes in the thing. What are they trying to say there? What is like
so the fact
apes
that
are the
some
main
people are
character,
saying,
so
well,
it's woke?
oh, did you hear about the new fucking Kingdom of Planet of the Apes woke? Okay, all right, listen, well, right off the bat, I mean, maybe because she's a girl, but like, technically speaking, there's only two humans really in the film. I mean, it's in the trailer. Later on, the third act, we get into William H. Macy's in the film, but the only two humans in the movie are white. Actually, the character who plays Noah. Noah is a white actor. Also, some of the mocap you can't tell, but like most of the ape actors are Caucasian, and none of the apes are non-binary, trans, or fucking bisexual. I'm like, what? Where are you getting woke out of a fucking Planet of the Apes film?
I have
I,
no clue where they're getting
the
that
fact that
from.
I'm
That
reading
is a mystery
it's
to me.
fucking I mean, right here. Okay, that's it. This is maybe the only black technically actor in the fucking movie is so the guy who plays Rocco.
Raka, yeah,
Yeah,
Raka.
but I mean, how is him playing? So right there. So because he's in a film, that makes it fucking woke. I mean, Michael Clark Duncan was in the Tim Burton films, but so you have one black guy in the entire cast. Now it's woke.
I had not heard that. I had not
Yeah.
gotten that. I guess I'm not in that section of social media, so I have not seen that. But you know, Gord King. Um,
I mean, with the dreads, you know.
oh,
God.
does Noah have a good character
Wait,
arc?
I caught that. ARK. Fucking douche. Oh, God.
But yeah, so you know, without giving too
Yeah.
heavy spoilers away, you know, they go on this adventure, the three of them. Noah is a lot less sympathetic and trusting of what the female you know, runaway that they encounter. And you know, I was with him on that because it just kept it was like a hangnail in my mind. I was like,
Yeah.
why are her clothes normal? Like because we did see other humans and they were very feral and wearing like animal skins and things like that, you know, like
Yeah.
they were just running around. And I was like,
Yeah.
why does she look like she's just had like a rough time in the forest? Like why has she got like
Yeah.
almost military type gear on that's been like torn up and messed up? And you know, and Raka has some sympathy for her because that's just his nature. Noah does not. And then in a big reveal, she can actually speak where all the other humans cannot. They have another close encounter with the militant Caesar cult. And unfortunately, well, I'm not going to give too much away. They do suffer a loss. And, you know, we wind up at the main camp of the Caesar worshippers.
Yep.
It's the quote unquote kingdom. And it's run by a guy that likes to refer to himself as Proximus Caesar.
This is right on YouTube, WB, and everybody don't fuck with me. It's like this is the official clip, so don't shit on me. I'm playing the actual goddamn official clip from the.
Oh,
clips.
Here we go. We're about to get blocked. We're gonna get blocked
really.
right now.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
What a wonderful day! What a wonderful day!
Yeah.
Yes. So that's our main bad guy. It's in the trailer. This is about an hour
Kevin
into the
Durant
hour,
killing
hour
it
into the
in this
film.
role.
And
Yeah.
yes, we have the character. His name is he calls himself Proximus Caesar, which is like,
Mhm.
wow, it's so fucking on the nose, you douchebag.
Yeah.
But
And he's running it like a cult. You know, he's got
yes,
and at first it looks like they've just kind of taken over like a seaside water world type encampment. And the reasoning for why they are taking all of these apes clans and folding them into because like who are they at war with? Like what are they why are they conscripting all of these apes? And it's soon revealed that they're trying to get into an old military missile silo.
yeah, and
Um,
then we won't go too much into spoilers with that, but
yeah,
let's see. Also, I want to tell people, I read ahead of time. I was like, well, I have to know who's the cast. And Kevin Durant, we just seen him in Abigail. The guy's
we did.
he's been in the
Yeah.
Strain. He's been a fucking he was people been showing the clips from
He's a great character actor in my
oh
opinion.
yeah. Well, people were showing the fucking clips from him being in the Wolverine film as a blob. It's like
Yeah.
and but I was like within the first 10 seconds, if you look right there, look at his eyes. Like this guy, it looks like Kevin Durant in a fucking in an ape costume. But his mannerisms, the way I'm talking to like this, and
Yeah.
he kind of goes like that.
And his voice is epic, and he just has a presence even in the mocap suit. It reminded me when he played the evil archangel in that Angel Demons movie. What was that called?
Oh, wasn't that Legion?
Legion, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My brain gets when we do these, for some reason I can't ever think of the thing I'm thinking of.
Even right there, but like the way he's got like Kevin Durant's eyes, but his mannerisms, it's like, man, it's like I hate to say it, but like I wasn't seeing Proximus, I was seeing Kevin Durant. And for me, we'll get into later our characters, but like I don't know, man. Fucking, he's almost my favorite part of the film. He's not in it the most in a sense because the first hour it's a setup to getting to him, but just like the way he plays him and talks so different. And man, I thought he was fucking great as this character. But yeah, so essentially, I didn't see the new one. It's been a while. I did watch the new one with Russell Crowe and Christian Bale. But you
I don't
remember
remember him being in that.
Sure, well, we'll watch it at some point.
He was in the Russell Crowe one?
I'll look up right now, actually, since Gord mentioned that.
I don't remember that. But yeah, he's very maniacal. He's very charismatic as a cult leader, and as a cult leader would have to be, really.
No, yeah, he's in it. Shit, you're right, Gord. Good call.
I don't remember what part he played.
Yeah, he's in 2007. He plays a character called Tucker.
I'll have to look at that again. It escapes me right now, but yeah, and we get another human actor who has basically become a pet of the Kingdom of the Apes. He helps them read and write and learn history with a bunch of books that they've salvaged, and that's William H. Macy, basically playing a variation of his Frank Gallagher character from Shameless. Like he's just a total piece of shit. So, okay.
Yeah, couldn't get too much of him.
But yeah, he's a complete. Oh, okay, I remember that. Yeah, he's a complete and total piece of shit in this. Like I said, all I was thinking was like fucking Frank Gallagher, man. It's like if Frank Gallagher was in the Planet of the Apes, this is what he did. Like that's all he did was channel the Frank Gallagher character. I mean, you can kind of understand it. He's trying to make his way, and so I mean, the big MacGuffin is just. The goal, they're not fighting a war. The war's over. They're not even fighting humans. They're not even fighting other apes. They're just trying to get into this missile silo. Like that's the whole point and the big MacGuffin of the movie.
I mean, it's kind of like what everyone does. It's like there's Rise, there's Dawn, there's War. This is called Kingdom. The Kingdom is right here, Proximus to Caesar's kingdom. That's the kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It's like, and it's not even much of a spoiler, but like, what's the entire plot of the film? I mean, every movie kind of tells you what the plot is in the title. I mean, that's what when you recently watched War, Remember the War, the opening crawl was like, hey, whatever, 10 years ago, the rise of like Caesar, then the dawn, then tell you now it's the war of the Planet of the Apes. So right here we have the kingdom, but the kingdom is Proximus to Caesar's kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
And yes, I mean, that's pretty much, the film. See, not too much. I don't want to kill spoilers as much as that. Well, the film is 2.5 hours, which is, as he said, so far the longest movie out of the current Planet of the Apes franchise. So this is part 4. 2.5 hours. The budget was 160 million, and I can tell you one thing, and Wes can as well. For looking for 160, you can see it. It definitely looks like a fucking 160 million-dollar film.
Yeah, there's no money
Hey
laundering
Keith.
with the with the budget on this. There's no She-Hulk VFX money laundering happening. Everything that they put into it, you definitely see on screen. I will
mean,
say that.
I would say Nick's basically it's like, it's like the last hour is essentially because he's right there. It's Noah versus Proximus. That's the last hour. That's the basic way I could say without spoiling too much. That's the premise. And so he's a monkey laundry. But yeah, I mean, I figure we'll give our pros and cons with the film, and then Nick's for if you want to head out, we'll say, listen, here's our recommendation or plus minus. Then we'll do a good 10-minute spoiler talk in case you are curious, but we will avoid spoilers until the last 10 minutes. All right. But so yeah, we pull as we always do. Wes, you forget my questions. So,
why do you always forget the questions?
I don't know.
Like the whole point of the thing.
I know, man. Anyway. So yeah, I'll go first and let you go. As I said, my solo review. Did I like the movie? I did like this movie. I will say that, and I was happy that Gord with Cannoli last week watched Rise, and also I did watch the entire trilogy again. I would say that for me, I did like it, but I didn't love it, and mainly because at 2.5 hours, with the way the plot is, I feel like the plot it's kind of like the plot's not bad, but it's like kind of a thin plot for a 2.5 hour film. And yes, I did say my sole review. Noah is a good character, and also the actors. No actor in this movie phones it in. Everybody does a fucking great job, from the humans to the apes. But I do feel like William H. Macy and the girl who plays May in the Witcher TV show. It seems like the humans don't have a lot to do, and it's just like the overall story arc and character arc. It's like, Andy Serkis set the bar so fucking high that I don't dislike Noah, but like I wasn't attached to him the way I was Caesar. But I still did like the movie. I just didn't like it as much as the trilogy, but I did enjoy it. It's not a bad film by any means. I do wish that they would shave down some of the runtime, but I still did like it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you want me to go?
Yeah, I'm set for now. Yeah.
Okay. Did I like it? I may have shot myself in the foot with this because binging the original trilogy and then going to see this, I don't know any other way I could have done it. Because I was a guest of the federal government and then later the state when all the other movies were released. And I just haven't had a chance to. So I don't know, but I will tell you that I feel like it left me really flat. This movie. You're spot on with Caesar is so. I mean, they really, no pun intended, raised the bar having Caesar
They did.
in the original trilogy, and then we're kind of downgrading to like Caesar light,
Yeah.
And it's and you're right. He's not a bad actor by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just like you get me over involved and interested in Caesar and his story arc and over that other trilogy, and it was wrapped up just fine. But now I'm supposed to just shift gears and see Noah as this great protagonist. And maybe if they make this a trilogy, this is just the first step, and it's his Luke Skywalker type story. I'm okay with that. It certainly wasn't a bad movie. I didn't fall asleep.
No,
I wasn't on my phone, so it kept me relatively engaged. But like you said, the plot is very thin.
And I think because the problem is, like, we see this because, okay, number one, Rise. It's the Rise. It's Caesar getting the formula getting smarter, but also eventually Koba coming to the movie, and that's when the simian flu kicks in. But it's the rise of the Planet of the Apes. Dawn is the dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and we're seeing it's setting up the war, and that's even at the end of the second film is like, yeah, we're about to get into a war, and Jason Clark's character, he's a good man, but like he can't avoid what's coming, and they're about to call him the military, and of course the military is humanity's panicking, freaking the fuck out. They're blaming the monkeys, for the simian flu, but they can't avoid it. And like you said, the entire trilogy was wrapped up in a nice bow. It's like, at this point going forward, what do you want to do? It's been 200 years. Obviously, humans are still here. Apes are still here. And it's like, well, we've already seen the rise, the dawn, and the war of the apes. So what's going to go forward? Just what, more apes killing humans? I mean, it's at this point, like,
Yeah.
it's
And the whole big goal for the the bad guy was, I don't know, man. It just it left me. It was really hollow, and it didn't do a whole lot for me with that. So
yeah, because even Jeremy John said this, and I look other YouTubers sometimes. He said, the character of right here, Proximus, what's his motivations? Like, if you look at the trilogy, there really isn't a really like one bad guy. It's like, in the second film, Gary Oldman, he's not really a bad person, but he's crying because his daughter died. He kind of blames the apes, but he kind of like doesn't. It's like the apes just want to just be left alone and coexist, and the humans can't have that. And of course, Woody Harrelson's a bad guy in War, but you understand what they're fighting for. Proximus really doesn't have a motivation in a sense. He's not really going for something, but just basically being like a bigger and better cult leader.
yeah.
That's it. He doesn't really have like the motivations. And I said, and with Noah, it's again, what is his character arc besides? And I jokingly say this, where he feels like Mad Max and Mad Max Fury Road.
Mm,
It's like
yeah.
he's there, and some people say, "Oh, well, Mad Max is always a side character." Yeah, but it's just like it's almost like Noah, in some ways, take him out of most of these scenes, and nothing really changes. I mean, he doesn't really.
I mean, and the thing about it is, you can say the same for the humans. Take them out, and nothing changes. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
I don't know what I can't say what would have worked better, but this thing did not work. So you want to go to your next question?
Would I recommend it? Yeah. Well, like I said, for me, it's like, I'm big on special effects. Seeing a film in IMAX, and we both talked about, I love visuals and the mocap and technology. And my recommendation would be like, I still would recommend it, but I would say I'm also hesitant because yes, it's like if you just watch a trilogy, then watch this, I feel you will be let down. But I'm recommending the sense that, it still has good characters, a great action, fantastic CGI. We said it before. The set designs from like the rusting of like the ships and like the moss and vegetation, and it's like they're not bad characters. They're not even badly written. It's more like they don't have much to fucking do. It's like the story is just very simply like, yeah, it's like go from point A to point B back to point A, which again, I know people just rave about Mad Max Fury Road, but I'm like, well, what's the character arc? Max's hair, him and Furiosa, they drive away, then they turn around and come back. And it's like,
Yeah.
almost the same. I'm not saying if Fury Road's it's a great action film, not debating that. It's fun as hell, but like in terms of the plot, the fuck is a plot? I mean, Furiosa's revenge against fucking Immolation Joe, and same doing Noah. I mean, the open to 15 minutes is his tribe is basically wiped out. Some are left, some are POWs. Okay, go get your tribe back and come back, and that's his entire character arc. So I do recommend it, but I mean, I also like we'll get into number 3. Like I recommend it, but I'm also not. I wouldn't say rush out and see it though. That's my issue.
Yeah. Would I recommend it? I would say no. I'm gonna say no for the amount of money that you would spend at a movie theater. I mean, if you are into visual spectacles and you're fine with just that, and you don't mind a paper thin plot, then I don't have a problem with you doing that. But I mean, with the amount of money that you pay at a movie theater these days, unless you have the Regal app Unlimited, which would cost you how much a month?
$24.95.
$24.95, and you can see as many movies as you would like.
I mean,
two visits completely pay off the thing. Then I would say, but with money being so tight, I would say wait. I don't know. I'll get into that in the third question, but would I recommend it? I think you can skip this and watch the Caesar trilogy and be no less off for it.
Yeah,
That's
something
my
like Gorbachev with Max and Fury Road. Some people talk about that, but for me, it's just like I'm not saying it doesn't have an arc, but like it's very like people said, it's like he just Fury Road is the Furiosa movie. It just is.
Yeah.
That's why. Look now she's getting her own fucking movie. But for a Mad Max film, Max doesn't. He just seems like he's there. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I said I don't dislike Fury Road as a film, as an action film, but yeah. So
number 3,
that's St. Jamalama. Well, said, yeah. So should you spend your money? That's what I'm going to say. Like, I think that because of the visuals and because of the good action scenes and they do have good performances with not the best storyline, but because of that, yeah, Regal has. We have Tuesday $5 Wednesdays, or if you catch a movie before 1 p.m., they have like $8 movie tickets. So an IMAX ticket in my area, but thanks to my Regal app, I'm not paying $20. But right now, an IMAX ticket is $20. Standard ticket is $15. I would not rush out and spend full price on this. I think it's a very good matinee movie. Tuesday for $5, good fucking movie to watch for me. So I would recommend spending money, but like full price, I would not spend full price on a ticket for this movie.
Yeah. I don't think you should spend any money for a ticket on this movie, honestly. I have the Regal app, not the unlimited. I have the regular Regal app and my military discount, and I only had to pay $12. But I felt like it was kind of $12 wasted. The visuals were stunning. I'm not going to say that they weren't, but after, again, maybe it's because I spent all day long binging the trilogy, on Hulu. This really left me very flat. There was characters that pop in and out, and not enough time goes to certain characters, too much time on others. Some characters completely unnecessary. Some characters I'm like, I don't even know where they went or what happened with that. And then the objective and the plot is just paper thin. So for me, I would say save your money, and if you have a nice TV at home, wait until it's on streaming and then watch it then. But I mean, if you really like cream your jeans over seeing spectacle in the theater, then yeah, I mean, go for it. Fuck it. Go to IMAX if that's your thing. But if you're not that thing and you're just looking, I would definitely steer you towards another film to put your money on. I mean, I found an empty bucket of so I got a free refill on popcorn. Yeah, I'm a degenerate. I don't care. And then I bought a soda. So like all told, I wound up spending like about $20, but I regret it. That's $20 that I really feel like I wasted.
And I would say, like, people would say, Chris, I would recommend seeing like Godzilla versus Kong in IMAX. Yes, the reason for it is because Godzilla versus Kong didn't have the storyline of the first three Planet of the Apes films. I don't go into Godzilla versus Kong in IMAX and expect a good plot, and I'm not going to fucking get one. And I didn't get one, but it was insane fucking stupid fun for me. But I also would say, listen, if someone like you or Gord or anybody would want to see big ape fight big lizard, I'm fine with that. Planet of the Apes is different. Planet of the Apes, after watching that trilogy, has such a goddamn good storyline. You could have taken away the mocap, and I still would have loved it. And this movie is it's visually fantastic. I'm not debating that. Looked fantastic in IMAX, but I do admit the storyline is lacking in this one, and I don't give it the same criticism as, say, Godzilla versus Kong, because that I'm not expecting a good story when I'm watching those two fucking fight each other.
Yeah, but after watching the trilogy and what a great plot, great story, and great acting in that one, then yeah, I do kind of demand it in this new trilogy.
Yeah, Gord, I would respect your opinion, dude. And I agree with you, Gord. Like, I still think for me, Dawn's my favorite, but I like all three of them. And said me and Wes are a little bit different on this. I didn't, well, actually, it was sitting in Wes. Wes didn't hate the film. I didn't hate the film. I just it's less. We see it often where it almost feels like I could say it where it kind of feels unnecessary in some ways, because even at the end of this film, and we'll talk about spoilers in a few minutes, but like it does, non spoilers, it sets up a continuation of the franchise, but it's like, okay, and now what? Like at Rise, when you watch the end of Rise, you knew something more was coming, and you understand Caesar, the character of Will, what was being set up with the apes and what's going on. Right here, the movie ended, and I'm like, now what?
Now what?
You have no fucking idea what's coming next, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. But like, I don't feel like they're setting up. If they're setting up a new trilogy, this is a bad start to set up a new trilogy.
Yeah,
I mean,
you should get like a screenshot of that just says warning spoilers as we go into the spoiler section.
Yeah. Well, I figure we're about to fucking talk about the bar, so that's right.
Oh, okay.
Remember, I put the picture too. See, I got things set up here. The tier system. There we go, buddy. So we have, let's see, our whiskeys are, instead of the bar, we have top shelf whiskey, middle shelf whiskey, and bottom shelf, boy. And you're a bartender, Wes. You know about these.
Bar back,
yeah. But for me, yeah, I said, my assessment before we get into spoilers, guys, is my rating system is, yes, for me, Kingdom, not a bad film, not as good as the first three. So for me, I'm rating it as it's middle shelf. It's not terrible, but not great. It's just right about fucking there for me. I'm teetering on. I can see people liking a lot more to me, but I can see people saying skip it. So for me, it's just right there at the middle.
Yeah.
So.
I will definitely go bottom shelf for me, unfortunately. I hate to do that, but I mean, you guys were the ones that pressured me into watching all the movies. So had I not seen the Caesar stuff, the Caesar trilogy, I don't think I would have been too confused with this movie. I think it would have been okay. And I think I might have enjoyed it slightly better. But knowing that there's a better product out there, and a better story out there, I think that led me to come
Yeah.
up with this. But yeah, I got to go
And
high bottom shelf. If there's a high bottom shelf
I
liquor,
mean,
then
you bartend. So what's a high bottom shelf alcohol you serve people?
oh boy, what's a high bottom shelf? Oh geez, bottom shelf is definitely well liquor, so it'd be like
Oh,
what
really? This
off
shit? I don't know.
Oregon.
Wow,
Yeah, it's definitely like the suit the stuff that you think
dude.
it's the one that you give the drunks
If
after
they
they run
did,
over.
I think Wes would have given us a higher rating if they had that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Caesar's
Caesar's
Palace.
Palace would have been pretty
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
Pretty
So
dope.
before we get into
Good
spoilers,
wordplay, Gord. Okay.
as always, no. Before we get into spoilers, right here too, I also want to say thank you, Regal. Regal handed out this right here. Check this out. It says early access screening. So Regal Cinemas. It's
Blue
love you.
collar, how did you get that early access
No,
screening?
Wes. Before we get into spoilers, there's something out there. I mean, how much is a ticket in your area?
In my area, I don't know what the standard ticket is, but even with my 2 discounts, it's still $12.
Wow, $12 in my area, $20 to see a movie like this. Yeah,
Yikes.
for one fucking movie versus what's really good? They have this app out there for $6 a week, $24.95 a month to see as many movies as you want.
You can see as many movies as
As
you want,
many
blue collar?
plus, but I got a free refill. Didn't pay nothing for
What?
this. Yeah, sometimes free popcorn. My kid bought my kid a free ticket to see this movie with me, so my IMAX ticket was free, and I used my points to buy my kid a free ticket. So
That's
I
amazing.
know for $24.95 a month, it's crazy, man. I just
So that's definitely worth the price of the
oh
Regal
yes,
app
it is.
Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Anyway,
amazing, blue collar.
so yeah, Nick, you want to head out? We'll get into about maybe 10 minutes of spoilers, and then we're gonna head out because not much more we can say. But as always, if you gored anybody when you see the movie, if you do, let me know comments, and yeah, I mean it's worth discussing. So, but
All right. This is
I'll
your
say
chance. This is your final warning. Disperse and leave the kingdom of the Planet of the Apes review now if you do not want this movie spoiled for you.
see if I get yeah, I do got to make a fucking picture saying spoilers. But alcohol free. Yeah, so you ready to do? We'll say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and all right. You want to talk about spoilers?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you're saying, the character of yeah. See you later, Gord. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Love you. Let me start now. Well, no, he wants to. I want to root for him. Yeah. So the character motivation of Maximus is he wants to be like a bigger cult leader. Proximus. So they have this silo. There's a military silo. Inside the silo, now he's like telling Noah that humans used to be able to fly and like basically telephones, internet, talk across great oceans and distances. He wants to get inside the silo, and only May she's a very smart human and she knows how to get inside there. They eventually break inside there, and lo and behold, a whole shitload of military weapons. The only again, now we're talking spoilers, Wes. This is a military man. Even inside of a silo, I mean, if you had tanks from 200 years ago, okay, if they were functional, the gas isn't going to work inside them, right?
No.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, so fucking maybe freaked out, like telling Noah, oh my god, he can't have this weaponry. Well, in all fairness, 200-year-old military weapons aren't really going to be much of a fucking factor.
I mean, you could make an argument that, like, if you went into a museum and a well-packaged, well-preserved Colt Peacemaker or a musket might actually work. So you could make an argument for that. But as far as tanks and helicopters and M4s and laser sights and stuff like all that stuff that's in the previous films, that's gone. Like that, you can just forget about that. You could jerry rig some stuff to have electricity like they do with their cattle prods, but even that's sort of kind of doubtful. But yeah, it's a weak plot. If he had wanted to get in there because they were still warring with the humans, and he wanted to get like chemical, like a vial of like a chemical something, I could
Yeah.
kind of see that, but his whole idea. Now, I guess you could headcanon that that's because his human advisor Frank Gallagher, William H. Macy, is telling him. I know that's not his real name, but he's always
There
going
you
to be Frank Gallagher to me.
Yeah.
Maybe
found
he's
it.
telling him that
There you
there's
go.
that. There you go. Maybe he's
All right, guys.
telling him that there's good shit in there that he could use because it's just something that he can tell him. I really don't know, but
Yeah,
I
and
don't know what stuff they could, and even the young girl.
is that true? Is that true too, Wes? What Nick just said? I mean,
No, you can't. While the tank flew, I think he's meaning to say fuel.
yeah,
Could work. The oil on the mechanical part is gone. The metal is rusted.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's anything. There could be some useful stuff in there. There's a point where I guess she scrounges up a revolver, although I don't know where she pulled that from.
yeah. That's
Maybe I
never
missed
explained
the
either.
part.
Yeah,
Maybe I missed.
she pulls out a gun and shoots one of the apes at one point, and but
Did
again,
she have that the whole time, or was that
well,
something that she found in there?
yeah, it's never. Yeah, she just has it. Like you said, she has it.
Yeah, so she had it in
And
her
also,
prison wallet or something. I don't know what.
Yeah, I did want to ask you that as well. So if you had a gun, but even like ammo, no ammo, the powder inside the ammo after 200 fucking years, is that powder still viable?
No, not
Okay.
well. 300 years. Yeah, no. There's no
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
There's no way. That would be like if imagine if somebody put a Colt Peacemaker in a locker somewhere from 1887 and you found it. You think that's going to fire? It might, but I mean the odds on it. And that thing that she had, the little 38 she had, that thing looked pristine.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't think so. And and her whole motivation to go get some cartridge to get the satellite relay things going again.
That's her entire character plot, like you're saying, because when you first see her, it's a PG-13 film. I'm not expecting her to be naked, but if she was naked, she'd be fucking feral. So the fact that she's like considering where they're living at, she's pretty well dressed considering.
Yeah, I mean it's in tatters, and she's definitely not wearing a bra in a couple scenes, which I appreciated. But she's definitely too well dressed. It almost looks like pseudo, military contractor gear stuff that's been like torn up or whatever. So something's rotten in Denmark.
Yeah, but she wants to get into the fucking silo to get this to pull out basically which again too, the fact that this silo still has working electricity, I mean that's kind of.
That might be plausible, but again, I'm not a scientist. I don't know, but all that stuff just seems super duper unlikely to me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's, if there's a scientist in the chat, maybe you can tell me whether or not. I just feel like, 300 years is a long fucking time. For this stuff to still be working.
Because it's not USB hard drive, but it's where the silo fucking codes that she pulls out, which I'm like, I mean, again, anytime like our smartphones, our USBs, any kind of a hard drive from 2024, I just can't see that hard drive still working.
No,
I don't. 200 years later, like.
And then what is it working for? Are they retasking satellites? And if they are, why? What is the? She gives Noah some bullshit reason like I'm going to help the humans learn to speak again by finding a magical book. Which I could get why she changed what she set up because maybe he's not going to understand what a USB, an external hard drive is. Yeah. That's fine, but how does her retasking satellites help them? Reteach humans how to speak.
I mean, the only thing, the way I took it is, by her going back and the fact the satellites were still kind of working, which I mean, to their credit, the satellites were decrepit and were kind of fucking broken down. The fact that was the whole point. They're trying to get these satellites working again. I guess because they want to have communications because smartphones and phones. I guess maybe rudimentary radios would still work, but like she wants to have her oxidation won't work. They want to have the satellites working to just get radio communications to other people across the country, the globe. I mean, I'm guessing.
And I don't think those radios would work though. That would be like if you found an old West telegraph machine from the 1800s, and that's only 150 years ago.
That's we're saying.
This is double the amount of time. You really think you could get an old telegraph machine to work?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Because like even in fucking like Dawn says it takes place 10 years later after Rise, but it would say in Rise is 2011. So 10 years later, you still have a smartphone, a gun, If tanks will still work 10 years later. That's 10 fucking years versus, you know, 2 or 3 or 400 years later is a different situation.
Yeah.
So
A lot of that, and again, that lends itself to this, you know, paper thin plot. They introduce us to this really cool character with Raka, who has a lot to say. Everything,
Yeah.
like I was like, he was the main thing that was making the movie, and then they kill him off needlessly. Now, maybe their intention is to
that's what's
bring
one
him back.
Is he dead or not? We can't tell because the way he just floated away. So I'm like, is he
Yeah.
dead? We don't know. So
Well, he's not seen in the rest of the film for sure.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
And that's like the best character in the movie, and he's just washed away in
I
the tide.
was teetering on Raka or Proximus, but just like I think it's like Kevin Durant so much, but like I'm like they're both right there in terms of like who I like better. But yeah, I mean, hands down, he's such a great part of the movie. But also spoilers. I mean, and again, and this is why I'd still recommended it for, because yes, Noah is not the best fighter, but like we're so used to superhero films and action films where the main character beats the bad guy. Noah gets fucked up. I mean, Proximus kicks the shit out of him. Noah does not win that fight at all. I mean, you could say he's into nature, but like technically speaking, the Eagles win the goddamn fight. I was watching again, and it's being fucking poor Proximus. He's about to kill Noah, and he freaking does like his mating call and calls in 20 Eagles to fucking get on Proximus and gouge his eyes out and shit too. But like,
yeah, I didn't mind that so much just because it's a good character arc for him. He finally gets the Eagles. You know, it's kind of his you know, it's his what's that word? When something's passed down to you, it's kind of his
like inheritance. You know?
Yeah, it's almost like
What's I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, I did like how he earned it. He did earn the respect. Remember the Eagle fight because remember he kept pecking at him and shit, and he wouldn't go to him. I'm saying like I did that part. I did like because he earned it, but also he wasn't some kind of all powerful. I mean, because Caesar, technically speaking, Caesar became a military general. He became fucking nasty, and like Noah, but he's also a teenager in a sense. So I like the fact that he didn't beat the bad guy. The bad guy, Proximus, would have won that fucking fight. And
it would have been pretty silly for all of a sudden, out of the blue, for him to just overpower this guy. So I did appreciate that.
Yeah,
I did like that. But again, it's just, you know, it's more. I feel like there's like a bunch of stuff sitting. I got this distinct impression there's a bunch of stuff sitting on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
You know, I guess you could make an argument to a lot of this stuff like, well, they're making a new trilogy and this, okay, well, that's fine. But like, you know, you could have stopped Star Wars: A New Hope and not made any more, and that would have been perfectly fine.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like in terms of like where we're going next. So at one point at the, before she goes back and gives the satellite codes to the people, you know, he's talking to her. And he's like, you know what? Noah's telling her, well, you know, Proximus was right. Humans can't be trusted. But he's like, you want to take over everything. She's like, well, that silo it belonged to us. And she's like, that was a human ideas. But just the way he says, where he's like, okay, but like, what belongs to us then? And I get that mentality, but the thing is, now we're still going back to humans want to rule everything, apes are just trying to survive. But that was the entire Caesar trilogy. Yeah. So it's like that's what I'm saying in terms of storyline. So yeah, what do we do next? What okay? Say for instance, you bring her back, right? And because he says to her, he's like, well, we're gonna take our village and we're gonna rebuild it, make it better. Okay. With you guys are gonna have what more spears? If her people still have access to like, okay, if they find more military silos and shit, if whole bunch of humans come to that village with fucking spears and stuff, and the way you guys are defending yourselves and eagles. If the military, if they got some old technology working again, they would wipe that fucking village out in seconds.
Yeah.
So
I did like the fact that as they're having this conversation, they've been through these adventures together, which has been both, you know, adversarial and, you know, working together. I like the fact that, you know, as he's asking her, you know, can I trust you? Can we get along? And as she's answering, she's got her hand on the pistol behind her back.
Yeah,
I like that. That was a good. That was a good visual. I did like that. That was some good.
A lot of people wouldn't catch that. Like that subtlety where she's
So I did enjoy that. I'm really lost at the ending with her looking up as they retasking satellites. Those things look like they were beat to shit. Yeah. I don't know. And what satellite are they fucking? And even if they were, like, what? So okay, so they're communicating to other people. Yeah. How does that help the people who are feral and can't speak? I don't understand how that is juxtaposed. Now, maybe I'm not supposed to know, or is that just something that's like a big old plot hole? Because I can't wrap my mind around it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, going forward, dude, it's like, okay, so now plot wise, what do we do? What, just it's going to become human? Okay, humans trying to like retake the planet back and kill the
Right.
apes.
Yeah, and we've done that.
And
We
not,
did
but
that
not to mention
already.
that, like, no, but Noah and his people, as a premise, that's a stupid idea because Noah and his people, they were living like fucking isolated
Yeah,
by
they're not
themselves.
bothering
They're
anybody.
not
Yeah,
bothering
they're not
anybody.
bothering
So,
nobody.
like, if they want to have the humans try to kill the apes again, well, the apes aren't taking over. So, like, yeah, so like, for if you make number 5, what do you want to do then? There's just you've done it all. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I guess I'm sure number
I
5 is
guess
coming.
yeah, I guess
But I
we'll see.
mean,
Well, I'm not so sure. I mean, it really just depends, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, dude. So, yeah, I mean, I know we have to get ready to wrap stuff up. Thanks for coming. I didn't plan on doing this with you. We're gonna talk next to about little fucking 30th anniversary of The Crow, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, yeah, that should be
Yeah,
fun. I'm looking forward to that. And
yeah,
we got our best of 2024 so far
yeah. I'm not sure
coming
how
up
we're doing
on
it yet.
Enzo's channel, which is
Okay,
either I'm assuming it's not going to be tomorrow, but probably the following week.
I was
So
trying to find it for real quick. Shit. See if I can get it
what
here.
the crow thing?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a picture right there. So that's
Oh,
our
nice.
next little bar. But hey, if
Wow.
anybody hung out with us, as long as they did, thanks for hanging out with the spoilers.
Yeah.
I just man, this apes, this current one, for many people, if they would say it was unnecessary, I couldn't fight you on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unfortunately, the bar is low with this one.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
But like you said, we
So,
don't always. I mean, I liked this a little bit more than you did, but just like you said you liked anyone but you a little more than I did, but I didn't hate it. But that's how it is. We don't always have to agree 100% on everything.
yeah, for sure, for
So
sure.
yeah,
I definitely don't consider it a bad movie
yeah,
by any stretch of the
yeah.
imagination, but
So
it's definitely not. My big thing is always rewatchability, and
uh,
I cannot fathom a
yeah,
situation in which I would rewatch this.
100%.
I would rewatch any one of the Caesar trilogies.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I
if you're
feel.
like,
I'll
hey, you
say.
want to rewatch that? I would be like, yeah, I'm cool with that.
No, 100% for a head out. That's man, I want to say that. I think I'm gonna say my sole review is that if you ask me again to watch this versus the Caesar trilogy, I have no I guess fucking no anticipation or like rush. I don't want to see this again anytime soon. I have no I'm in no hurry to watch it again.
Yeah.
So I'm
No,
sorry.
I would be shocked if I ever. I mean, if it came on TV, I probably wouldn't rush to change the channel, but I wouldn't be
Yeah.
enraptured in it.
Oh, thanks, Keith. Yeah. So all right, well, he's got to get to work soon. I'm gonna actually ready for work as well. But yeah, guys, thank you. We'll see you for the next for the Crow. Yeah,
Hell yeah,
I'll get some.
that should be awesome.
I mean, with the Crow, we're not going to spoil it because it's been 30 fucking years.
Yeah, yeah, there won't be a spoil. Yeah, if you haven't gotten to see The Crow in 30 years, we don't know what to do for you.
All
Sorry
right,
about
man.
that.
All right, man. We're out here. So later.